Welcome to Let's Talk Africa podcast, your one-stop destination for all things tech, innovation, and the vibrant ecosystem that is shaping the future of Africa. From groundbreaking startups to cutting-edge technologies, Africa is on the cusp of a revolution that will not only transform the continent, but also impact the global stage. Your host, Andrew, is standing by for an interesting topic for you today. Enjoy today's episode.
Hello and welcome to your daily episode of your favorite podcast, Let's Talk Africa. I'm your regular host, Andrew. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the African tech startup scene. Africa is home to some of the fastest growing tech startup ecosystems in the world. In 2022, African startups raised a record $5.2 billion in funding, according to Partech Africa. This represents a 140% increase from 2021. This rapid growth is being driven by a number of factors, including a young and growing population, increasing internet penetration, and a growing middle class. In today's episode, we'll be discussing some of the key trends that are driving the growth of African tech, including fintech, e-commerce, agtech, blockchain, AI, and IoT. We'll also be discussing some of the challenges that African startups face, such as lack of access to funding, inadequate infrastructure, and regulatory hurdles. So, without further ado, let's get started. Key trends driving the growth of African tech. The African tech startup scene is still in its early stages of development, but it is growing rapidly and attracting significant investment. The following are some of the key trends that are driving the growth of African tech. 1. Fintech is one of the most active sectors in the African tech startup scene. African startups are developing innovative fintech solutions to address the needs of the continent's underbanked and underserved population. Some of the key fintech trends in Africa include mobile money, digital lending, and insurtech. 2. E-commerce is another rapidly growing sector in the African tech startup scene. African startups are developing innovative e-commerce solutions to address the challenges of logistics and payments in Africa. Some of the key e-commerce trends in Africa include social commerce, quick commerce, and logistics startups. 3. Agtech startups are developing innovative solutions to address the challenges of agriculture in Africa. African agtech startups are using technology to improve crop yields, reduce costs, and connect farmers to markets. Some of the key agtech trends in Africa include precision agriculture, digital marketplaces, and agri-fintech. 4. Blockchain startups are developing innovative solutions to address a range of challenges in Africa, including payments, identity management, and supply chain management. 5. Artificial intelligence, AI. AI startups are developing AI-powered solutions to address a range of challenges in Africa, including healthcare, education, and agriculture. 6. Internet of Things, IoT. IoT startups are developing IoT-enabled devices to collect data from the real world and use it to improve decision-making. IoT startups are developing IoT solutions for a range of industries in Africa, including agriculture, manufacturing, and healthcare. Let's talk about the challenges facing African startups. Despite the rapid growth of the African tech startup scene, there are a number of challenges that startups face, including 1. Lack of access to funding. It can be difficult for African startups to access funding, as there are fewer investors in Africa than in other parts of the world. 2. Inadequate infrastructure. Africa's infrastructure is underdeveloped, which can make it difficult for startups to operate efficiently. 3. Regulatory hurdles. African startups may face regulatory hurdles, as governments in Africa are still developing policies to support the growth of the tech sector. So those are some of the key trends and challenges that are driving the growth of African tech. Africa has a bright future in the tech sector, and African startups are playing a key role in driving this growth. Thanks for listening to the Let's Talk Africa podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Let's Talk Africa. Watch for another exciting episode tomorrow at the same time, right here on this channel. Be sure to subscribe, share this podcast, and stay tuned for more exciting episodes on latest development within the Africa tech ecosystem. Be rest assured for another interesting and enlightening topic tomorrow. See you tomorrow.